Mr. Speaker, by a 10 million vote margin, the American people entrusted Democrats to run this body. So it is finally a new day for this Congress. And this rules package is our first opportunity to chart a new course. And a sign that we intend to run this place differently, these ideas were developed from the bottom up, not the top down. We asked every member for their ideas, from the longest serving to the newly elected, Democrats and Republicans alike. We spoke to experts inside and outside this Congress, from every House committee, from offices like the Parliamentarian and the General Counsel, from the Progressive Caucus and the Black Caucus to the Hispanic Caucus, the Blue Dog Caucus, and the Bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus, and from outside groups engaged on these issues. We spent months vetting suggestions and came up with a final package that reflects all corners of the Democratic caucus and this Congress. Never before has a rules package been developed like this, and our collaborative process made the final product a much stronger one. It modernizes this chamber in 5 key ways. First, it restores the people's voice by aligning Congress's agenda with the priorities of the American people. That includes enabling this House to defend the Affordable Care Act's pre-existing conditions coverage, setting up consideration of H.R. 1, a historic set of reforms to reduce money in politics, creating a select committee on the climate crisis so we no longer ignore the defining issues we all face, and ending the Holman Rule to protect federal workers, strengthening representation by giving rights to delegates and the resident commissioner in the Committee of the Whole and ensuring they can be appointed to joint committees, and honoring our commitment to workers by putting labor back in the Committee on Education and Labor. Second, it restores the legislative process by returning to regular order and abiding by the principle that good ideas should finally be debated and voted on again. That includes establishing a real 72-hour rule so members of Congress have time to actually read the major bills they're voting on, requiring bills to have a hearing and a markup before they go through the Rules Committee and to the floor, and creating a truly bipartisan select committee to modernize Congress and keep ourselves accountable so that this place actually works for the American people. Third, it restores oversight and ethics by cleaning up Washington, and it subjects the Trump administration to something it has never had, real oversight. That means making common sense changes like prohibiting members of Congress and staff from serving on boards of publicly traded companies, making sure non-disclosure agreements aren't used to prevent people here from speaking out about possible wrongdoing, providing assistance and training to help congressional offices properly protect whistleblowers, and setting a policy that members indicted for serious crimes should resign from leadership roles and committee assignments. Fourth, it restores budget rules by preventing members from using the debt ceiling as a political weapon, ending the sham budgetary policy of Cutco that pretends that tax cuts somehow pay for themselves, and preventing our federal lands from being given away for free. Fifth, it restores inclusion to ensure Congress reflects the diversity of the American people, people of all backgrounds, including women and the LGBT community. That includes banning discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity, creating a first-ever diversity office so the workers here are as diverse as the real world, clarifying the rules so that members and staff are finally allowed to wear religious headwear on the House floor, and requiring members to reimburse taxpayers for discrimination settlements. Those are just some of the many rules changes that are included here. And I'm especially proud that we have also included language that ensures a direct vote on privileged war powers resolutions and directs the House Office of General Counsel to explore all possible legal options for responding to the administration's attempt to circumvent Congress and limit access to SNAP for hundreds of thousands of hungry Americans. Because this majority will not sit idly by as the Trump administration beats up on poor people. Each change is the result of a real exchange of ideas, an honest attempt at unrigging the rules so that the People's House actually works for the people again. Now, Mr. Speaker, this rules package isn't some panacea that will fix all our problems. As important as it is, there is something that is even more important, and that's how we conduct ourselves day to day, week after week, and year after year, because you can't legislate civility. As chairman of the Rules Committee, I'm ready to do my part to institute a more accommodating process, one that gives all members a voice and brings the committee back to the days where big ideas were actually debated, where members were treated with respect, and the discourse wasn't so coarse. Now, I'm not naive, Mr. Speaker. I know that even if this House elevates the discourse here, we cannot control the other branches of government. The Senate will work its will, and the President may still reach for his phone to tweet insults and to name call. But we can and we should be the example of how Congress should operate. And I'm proud that this Democratic majority has developed a historic rules package that will immediately help restore integrity to this institution. And I'd like to thank the Office of the Parliamentarian and the Office of the Legislative Counsel for their technical assistance in drafting this package, and their hard work and their professionalism is a credit to this House. I also want to thank the incredible staff of the Rules Committee that spent countless hours trying to help assemble all these ideas and vet these ideas and put this package together. You know, this rule also includes language that will allow us to finally vote on reopening the government on day one of this new Congress. Bills that were negotiated in a bipartisan way with the Senate that would bring an end to the President's unnecessary and costly shutdown. Not a single penny is included for any border wall. It's that simple. Both sides should agree on this. No part of our government should be shut down over the President's obsession with a border wall. Mr. Speaker, we can rebuild this place and restore integrity again. And that starts with voting in favor of this rule, the underlying rules package, and the legislation to finally end the Trump shutdown. So let's get this done so we can get to work on behalf of the American people. And with that, I reserve the balance of my time.